Welcome to Casual Wednesdays for Fish Tuxedo. This is the show where we just kind of sit down, talk about the week's news in gaming, and a little bit about what we've been playing over the past week. I'm Jonathan Downin, as usual, joined by my good friend, Mike Fire. Mike, how's it going? Mike? Dude, Mike. Okay, Mike's not here, I admit. It was all a ruse. So, we had a catastrophic failure last night when we were recording this show, as usual. So, we won't have the regular show this week. We'll be back next week for sure. But in place, we have Casual Wednesdays recap. Because I was there. I know what we talked about. And I'm going to tell you what we talked about. So, kicking off with what we've been playing, I talked a little bit about Terraria and Starbound. Kind of got back on the Terraria kick, and that led right into Starbound. I'd kind of been waiting on Starbound, thinking that it maybe wasn't quite ready to jump in yet, since it's still early access. And I usually take a wait-and-see attitude on that stuff. And after jumping in and putting 6 hours in, I feel like I should have waited. I really feel like that still. It kind of just reinforced my feelings on the whole early access thing. Don't get me wrong, it's a great game. There's kind of an amazing amount of content in there. It's just not brought together in a way that I feel like it should be. I found myself at a loss for what to do a lot of times, and that's not completely unheard of with games like Terraria. I found myself in that situation in Terraria as well. But this was just too unguided. I needed some direction, and just the birth of content it's just too much stuff going on there with too little direction. So if you're thinking about giving that a try and it looks cool, I would say maybe just wait on it a little bit longer. It seems like, I mean, they're still in active development. They're still updating regularly. So there's a really good game in there. They just need to polish it up and get it into a package that's a little bit more digestible. And then Mike talked about his favorite game of all time, apparently, XCOM. He downloaded a new mod. I think it was called The Long War. And it sort of just extends the game out, so it's sort of a larger scale. I think you could do that stuff in previous Civ games, too. So he talked a bit about that, and he's still loving XCOM. Surprise, surprise, as if no one would know that. Because it's not like he mentions it on every show, or does tons of videos about strategy games or anything like that. And then we went on to the news, so a few small things and a few big things. Bravely Default sold 1 million, which was high above expectations of Square Enix, it seems, and they have confirmed that Bravely Second is indeed on the way for 3DS. That seems like it could be a big new franchise for them. The sort of commentary around that is that Bravely Default seems to be doing as a series for Square Enix what Final Fantasy has kind of started to fail to do for them over time. Just those games have gotten blown way out of proportion, both on budget, development, and just sheer scale-wise, and they can't really go back on that. So Bravely Default probably provides them a nice clean slate to go back to their roots and make the games that they used to make, so they can serve that fan base that I guess is still there since they sold 1 million of that first one, and do it on a reasonable budget. So that's kind of exciting. Hopefully we'll see that work out for them, and maybe even expand to different platforms. I personally don't have a 3DS, so and frankly, I'm not super interested in playing in a JRPG, but if I could pick that up for iPad for $20, I would do it. Surprise, surprise. So that's it. Next thing we talked about was EA Access, and this was a huge one. We spent a bunch of time on it. I'm not going to recap everything we said, but quick details on EA Access. It's a subscription platform from EA that allows access to a number of their games in their back catalog for $5 a month or $30 a year. The first offerings will be Battlefield 4, Peggle 2, and I'm going to forget the other ones since I don't have them up here. But it's a decent offering of games for the amount you pay. This is available on the Xbox One alone. So you pay your $5 a month. You can play those games as much as you want. Also included in the package is PlayStation Plus style. You will get a discount on certain purchases, or it might be all pre-orders, all EA pre-orders, if you are an active member of the EA Access program. And for big titles such as Dragon Age and others, you will have a chance to play those games a little bit early if you're a member. I think they said like 5 to 6 days early. So if you're a big fan of a certain franchise and one of those new games is going to hit, you can get in a little earlier than the regular release date crowd. So that may be worth it. It's weird that it's only on Xbox One. I think a statement just came out of Sony, since I'm recording this the next day, saying they evaluated the plan and they were presented with the plan, but they didn't find it to be actually a good value for their consumer. I think it does sort of lead us into a new area of subscription gaming, publisher-based subscription gaming, which is interesting. I find it a little scary to think that I could be paying like 5 or 6 different subscriptions to each publisher, or a total across publishers, and that's how I'd get my games in the future. That might be a good way to go, might not. I don't know, but I am happy to see a developer or a publisher like EA at least testing these waters. And to me, it doesn't seem like a bad deal. It seems a little convoluted for the normal person, for the everyday gamer to understand the ins and outs of that in a way that Netflix is not. Netflix is pretty straightforward with how their catalog stuff works and how their subscription tiers work. And the concept of what you get access to and what you don't in this EA thing seems a little too convoluted for its own good. So they probably have some cleaning up to do. But you got to start somewhere. I think it's a good thing. I'm surprised that this is coming out of Microsoft, but they are in a position where they're probably eager to offer as many different choices to the consumer as they can, because now they are all about choice. So there you go. Also, Mike and I talked about the new Unreal Tournament footage. Take a look. That looks amazing. That environment looks really slick. I love that. It's almost like a industrialized space version and dirtied up version of Mirror's Edge in a weird way, like the soft whites with the splashes of color and stuff like that. Man, that Unreal Engine's looking good. Also, they showed off some gameplay. That looks like Unreal Tournament. This is going to be an Unreal Tournament game, make no bones about it. So, yeah, you know what that game's probably going to play like, but it's going to be pretty. It's going to be real pretty. I'm excited. And the last thing we hit was a word from the main Tekken guy. Don't ask me his name right now because I do not know it. But he confirmed that Tekken Cross Street Fighter is indeed still on the way, and told fans to, quote, relax. Are you relaxed? I think most people are relaxed on that front. I don't think too many people are losing their minds over the lack of Tekken Cross Street Fighter, but I might be wrong. I'm sure there are people out there who are losing their minds, and good on you. Good on you guys. And that's it for this Casual Wednesdays recap. Hopefully this is the first and only edition of the Casual Wednesdays recap, but we should be back to normal this week. Thanks for hanging in there with us. As always, if you like our stuff, please do take the time to like it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and share it on your social media platform of choice. Twitter, Facebook, all those places. LinkedIn, Orkut, what are those other ones? There's other ones. Yeah, I don't care where you share. Just do it. That would be very helpful. Anyway, again, thanks for watching, and we will see you next week in proper form. Later.